Testing 1 2 1 2 3 4. All right, let's make sure we are live. All right. All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy pop-up stream. We're going to talk about some simple blues ideas. And to my email list, my close friend email list, I just sent you guys Dean's List Blues. And this is a good copy. This is the easier version of Dean's List Blues, but we're going to use it in doing some of these simple licks. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some simple improv ideas. But before we do that, make sure you say hello in the chat, just like we always do. Dad, good to see you. First on a Saturday, on a football day. And Dave P, up and early as well. Good to see you, Dave. Glad you're liking the guitar voicings that I sent you. And just so we know, I'm about to turn on the track, but I want to thank all of my subscribers, all of my YouTube members, all of the members of all of my academies, and just very thankful for you guys. And just want to say that we're growing at a nice rate right now, and there's a lot of engagement. I also think that I turned on the comments. I finally found what part of the problem was there, so we should be able to have comments on my videos again. What's up, Vance? Good to see you. All right, so let's first start by turning on this little blues track. And we're in the key of C, and we're just going to get going with our voicings. This is a good warm-up. 2 and 3 and 4 and F. 2, 3, 4 and 2 and 3. Pinky up, pinky down. F13, F sharp diminished. And 2, 3 and 4. A7 with the flat 13. D minor 9 to G13. Maybe a little yard work blues. Listen how simple. Got to be on that E flat for the F7. How about blues lick? Got to be on the E flat, and I was not. All right, let me stop this just for a second and see how everybody's doing. All right, Vance, you doing all right today? All right, so guys, notice how simple that is. Yard work blues. We always have these silly names for different songs, just so you know. And hey, Peter is in the house. Everybody say hello to Peter. Peter is one of our closest friends at iMusicAcademy. And had to step away a little bit, but he's still a huge supporter of iMusicAcademy. Good to see you, Peter. And we're doing the Dean's List Blues. Just so you guys know, I put you a really clean version of Dean's List Blues. And as we go through this, notice that we're 5/6 root. And then I have this minor third to major third. That right there is a great shape. Boo-da-da, boo-da, boo-da-da. As a matter of fact, Peter, who's on, has his own blues. The one of my favorite songs ever is the Peter's Gumbo Blues, because it has that, and then it goes, yeah, let's do that little Oscar Peterson type lick that's in Peter's Gumbo Blues. Let me actually turn on that and see if I can remember that. What a great song, the Peter's Gumbo Blues. So we have, I think I put that in the YouTube membership, by the way, and of course our all access have this one. So Peter's Blues is like this. Then it does blues scale. It actually does a triad thing, but we're not going to do that because of the chords I'm doing. Let's do that again. Here we go. Here we go. Vance's Blues. All right, back to our idea. Going to do some yard work. Going to do some yard work. Going to do. Okay, now what we're going to do this morning is, I know I just went to the Peter's Gumbo Blues and a little bit of Vance's Blues, but the simplicity of the blues is what I want to capture, right? So when you do Peter's Blues and you do Dean's List Blues, which has this wonderful lick right here, we're building up vocabulary, and that's what I want for you guys. I should have brought my water down, but I forgot to do that. I might take a break in just a minute. But what we're doing is, notice how simple this is. 5/6 root, and then minor third to major third. You guys know that I like this idea of minor third to major third, right? So we use it all kinds of different ways. Let's just for a minute talk about this one idea of the C major triad. If I'm in the key of C and I'm playing a C blues, I know that's going to work. I can go, and I'm rolling up 1, 2, 3, getting to that third up to the fifth. And isn't that nice that you can just think about the shape of the C triad? And then when I get to the F, I need to be on the flat third, or the flat 7 of F, because that's an F7 chord, and it doesn't have an E natural, it has an E flat, right? So we could literally shift from here, right? Now watch this, E flat for the F, and the same on the F sharp diminished, and back here. Now watch the craziness of this. When I go to A7, I'm still on this same note, which is the 5th of A, and then here, that's the 9th of D minor, that's why that sounds good, and that's the 13th of G. So you can play the whole blues and really enjoy the process of doing it and working on your left-hand voicings while you're doing this simple C triad shape. Now I'm going to turn on the track and I'm going to play that, but I also want you to know that we are keeping the simplicity of the blues and thinking about this one shape right here, the C triad. Now, I want to say this quickly, is that we have a really supportive community. It's an amazing group. Very thankful again for all of you. And there's now the opportunity to join our YouTube channel. There are different memberships right now. You just get in on the bottom. It's like buying me a cup of coffee every month. And you're getting tons of stuff in addition to all the lockdown videos, all the PDFs. It's a really wonderful way to support my channel. We have 12 people in there now, and nobody has left to this point. And I've been doing this for 4 or 5 months. My hope is one day to be able to have 1,000 people inside the YouTube membership. Now, I'm not even talking about our All Access group and our Chord Academy. Those are different things, but one easy way to get in the door is to simply hit the join button and pick a tier. There are 3 different tiers, and I promise you, you will find a world of information and fun things on the inside. And a lot of people, if you see all the people here who are here, my dad's a member, Vicky's a member, we have Vance is a member, and others. And again, this is totally separate, our All Access group. I wish I could take our All Access group and just put them right in there. And a lot of them are actually members of both. They're All Access members, but they are also YouTube members. So thank you for that as well. All right, let's keep going down. Let's turn on the track and let's demonstrate this C triad. Here we go, 2, 3, 4. See how I just did that? Again, rolled it up to the 5th. Now watch this. I'm going to be on the E flat. 3rd, again 9th. How about blues lick? Let's do that again. right, let me stop this really quickly. So isn't that nice how you could just use your C triad and really enjoy that process? All right, so Vance says, he says, my left-hand voicings suck. All right, very encouraging, Vance. No, that's not very encouraging. I love the fact that you're open and willing to say, hey, I need some work on my left hand. And Vance is the poet of iMusicAcademy, so if he says they suck, then we just have to take his wording and go with that. So how to not suck in your left-hand voicings. Let's talk about it. The first thing you're going to do, Vance and everybody listening, is that we know that we're thinking in terms of chord formulas. When I say you spell chords, it's left to right, just like you read. So you say C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm doing the third note of the C scale. This is like a fast overview. I do this all the time. My goal is not to speed through everything. If you're watching me and you watch my channels, you know that I take my time in showing you this, reviewing. There are courses, there are all kinds of things. I'm giving you the fast reminder. And if you need more help, or you're just stumbling on this, you're a beginner, I will help you through anything you need. But right now, I'm just reminding everyone, you spell your voicings left to right. So 3, flat 7, 9. That's a C9 voicing. It'll always be a C9 voicing. It's going to sound amazing. And then you have an F13, and all you have to do is go down a half step with these two notes right here, and that gives you a beautiful F13 voicing. That's the flat 7 of the F scale, the 3, and the 13th note. The reason we call that the 13th and not the 6th note of the F scale is because you have your flat 7, and we're stacking notes on top of there to create some really beautiful harmony. So even this is a nice, beautiful harmony. So you have a C9 to a F13. Okay, so as we go through these chord formulas, the reason we use chord formulas is so we can transpose in any key. If I said, all right, 3, flat 7, 9, and then you pick another key, like let's say we did B flat, and I say 3, flat 7, 9, or E flat, 3, flat 7, 9 of the E flat scale. That's why we do this. That's why we write them out. That's why we practice saying out loud 3, flat 7, 9. And the fun thing about an F blues or a C blues or any blues is the one chord naturally kind of wants to go to the 4 chord, doesn't it? Have your F1, you hear it even walking up, or you can do an arpeggio down, or you can go. Okay, so was that computer short? Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about right now, Vicky. You have to tell me. Okay, so let's go ahead and, oh, the computer shot. Okay, yeah, Vicky. So what Vicky's saying was, I did a short that's on my channel. It's on several channels where I took a keyboard that was having some static or whatever, and then my friend, who's a very nice man, he's an engineer, and he said, all right, well, let's take a look. And then he just, like, parts flying everywhere when he undid it. And you have to go watch that short and maybe even comment on it. It was pretty funny. And right now it's still, I think we made a decision just to be done with that keyboard because I don't think there's any way known to man to get it back together. All right, that was the answer to your question, Vicky. All right, so back to this idea about his voicings. Watch this, Vance. Here's what you're going to practice, everyone. C9, F13, and then back to C. Now watch, I call this pinky up, which gives you G minor, and pinky down. Now you're at F13, and then F sharp, same voicing, and then we're here, and then here's the next voicing I want you to spend time, is the A7 with the flat 9. You could call it A7 sharp 5 if you want, or flat 13, whatever. But then it goes, so get this one down. This is a nice little shape right here, and it creates a beautiful, having that flat 13 of the A7. Da, da. It gets you right to the D minor 9. Ba, da. And then all you have to go from D minor to G13 is go down a half step with your index finger. And I want you to use that finger. I don't want you to use your third finger there. I want you to do that. And now you have 1, 6, 2, 5. And you can technically do a flat 13 on G, which is going to sound great as well. But you have this idea. And Vance, I want you to practice just this one loop of remember, it's called the turnaround. 1, 6, 2, 5. Okay, now let's go and let's turn on the track and practice these voicings. And I think one thing that Vance, if I'm just kind of reading a little bit into this, I think that one of the things we all struggle with is learning how to comp, playing behind your own chords. In other words, if I turn on the track and I'm just playing whole notes at first, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, which I recommend, by the way. 2, 3, pinky up, pinky down. 3 and 4. And don't use a lot of pedal right now. I don't even, just tape your foot to the floor instead of the pedal. 2 and 3 and 4. And 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 6, 2, 5. Now here's what you're gonna do, or one thing you can do is go automatic pilot in a right hand. One, 2, 3, 4. Now what I'm doing right now is just a coordination exercise. Now watch this next one. This is a little fast for this demonstration. Short, short. I'm going to explain it in just a second. Okay, so as I'm going on automatic pilot, I want to remind you guys of some things you can do. One of those things is you can practice anything slow and straight. I do have a classical background, and when I first started learning about classical music, it's all about you're learning how to sight read and read music and everything. And just like you're practicing, if you're thinking in terms of notes and rhythms, you start to say, even on a grid idea of how can I lock the hands together instead of trying to think of a swing feel 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then whatever. Just think 1 and 2 and 3. So you can play almost anything if you do it slow and straight. So 1 and 2 and 3. Notice that F sharp is where my locked up with the and. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, so the F sharp gets the and of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you guys understand that when you're doing that automatic pilot exercise, you're getting your rhythm going by getting this rhythm 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I also like for you to practice like this 1 and 2 and 3, just left hand only 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's also great to count out loud 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you can go long, short, long, short, long, short. You can go short, long, short, long, whatever you like. I prefer, for me, I like the sound, the Red Garland sound. It's kind of like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. That's a fun exercise to practice, is just practicing the ands of 2 and the ands of 4. Which another important thing is, as we learn the Dean's List blues, I sent you guys the easy version, but on the harder version, I put the 1 and 2 and 3 over the whole thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so we're not going to go through the entire Dean's List blues, but what I want to show you is a couple of the ideas that we've been using this week that relate to the Dean's List blues. Now, this idea of this lick right here, let's look at it right now. Yeah, it's up there. Okay, let me just pull this up. So as I'm looking at the first thing about the Dean's List blues, and Dean's a great friend of mine. He's a great piano player and was a student of mine for a while, and he's been a huge supporter of iMusicAcademy. And Dean, during our lesson one day, I said, I want you to take these ideas and write a blues. And he did. So he has my courses, he has all these things, and then he came up with this melody. And the melody is Dean's List blues. And this idea of repetition, 3 and 4, 1, and then does pinky up, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then he did this right here. We did this little trill. Now we're going a little bit fast for this thing to do the trill like it is, but then it goes, so it goes octave, and then it does this lick that we're going to focus in on. Right? So this idea, and how do you think about that? Whatever key you're in, I want you to visualize this right here, is that it's the second inversion triad. This is really important right here. The second inversion triad, I'm in C, but I think of, what's the 4 chord of the key of C? It's F, right? All right, so everybody say goodbye to Peter. Hold on. Hey, Peter, really great to see you. I'm so glad that I copied you on the email, and glad you're doing okay. We'll see you soon. Yeah, Peter's awesome. Yeah, Peter, send me an email sometime and tell me how your family's doing. All right, here we go, guys. Let's dig into this Dean's List blues again. Notice that this right here, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 3, and then notice the triplet there. And the way I practice that is I'm holding the top note. Actually, I do both. We'll do it as, let me see how it's written there. Let me just look at this really quick. Okay, so we're not holding the top note. But I like holding the top note. It just gives, just for a little bit. I like that sound. But you can do it without it. Okay? So Dean's List blues is really this, which is so great, and it's exactly what we've been practicing, even from the yard work blues. Notice that I go, right? I'm using 5, 6, root 6, minor third, major third, and Dean's List blues does a chromatic, right? What a nice thing to do there. But this lick has been really important, really popular this week. And I want everybody to visualize this. If I'm doing this on C, I say, all right, what's the 4 chord of C? It's F. So I'm going to do F third, so F chord. I'm thinking F chord, F and A, and then I go minor third to major third, and I come down the second inversion triad. So if I was in the key of F, what's the 4 note of the F scale? It's B flat, so I go 1, 2, and 3, and then. So notice right there is the F chord. If I was in B flat and I go the same thing, and I go, what's the 4 chord of B flat? It's E flat. So B flat going up the scale, and I go here, and now, and there's my B flat triad. So whenever you're thinking about getting to certain licks and chords and ideas, always think of the theory. When I look at this right here and I go, I'm just thinking 4 chord of C is F, and then there's my lick right there. Let's turn on the track and mess around with this one lick right here. I know this is a little bit quick for that, but I could go 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I could do that on F. Let's do that again. And also, what's kind of nice about this kind of lick, notice how these licks really work well together. If I'm doing this right here, and one of Vance's favorite licks right here from Blues Volume 1, actually that's from Blues Volume 2, I think. Right, it's the same kind of thing, second inversion triad. So when you hear this, and you hear this, same notes, right? Just a little bit different. And then you have this idea of putting that with the triad exercise we just did. Let's turn on the track and mess around with that again. So we have this. So notice that I'm working on playing it in different areas of the piano and different beats, and notice that how it kind of works almost over every part. And right here, I wouldn't play it right here because I need that E flat, but right here I would. How about the other lick? Yard work. Here we go. Okay, let's shift to something on the more simple side of things, and this is going to get really fun. All right, let's see who is okay, Peter's out. Everybody else still here? If you're enjoying this, let me know in the chat. And maybe I know I have comments on, but I don't know if you can comment during the live or if you have to wait till it's over. But I did finally find the settings. I was wondering why I haven't been getting comments on a lot of the videos, and I had it checked off in the settings somewhere. Okay, now, when you sit down to play the blues, there are a couple of really important things I want you to remember. Is this ba-da-da-da-da-da. This idea, we said, not only can we think of the C triad in the whole thing, but you can also do da-da-da-da-da. You can go kind of do nothing until you hear from me, but you have the enclosure, right? Enclosing those thirds. What's up, Bill? Bill is a proud member of iMusicAcademy. Good to see you, Bill. Yeah, I want to know if you guys are still enjoying this. I'm looking for somebody to say hello in the chat who hasn't done that yet. All right, so let's do this. Yeah, on the comment. Hopefully it works, Vance, but thank you for your help. Vance has always helped me out when I have issues with my channel, so... All right, so guys, girls, listen up very closely. We're going to do now a little bit of Vance's etude where I do the Cruella de Vil. Listen to how simple your life can be in jazz piano and blues piano if you do a little Cruella de Vil. Minor third to major third up to the flat 7. Now, we're not just going to do Vance's blues right there. I want to remind you, what's the secret you can do? If you're on the key of C, you go on 3 half steps. You're on an A blues. First 4 notes of the A blues scale, you could play it for days over this entire thing. So we're going to do a little bit of Vance's blues with that same concept. Here we go. Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. How about Dean's List? Back to Cruella on... Cruella de Vil. And 2 and 1 and 2 again. Again. Now I'm going to give you a little A blues scale because we're in the key of C. right, now let's say that I'm doing Dean's List blues lick. When I get to that F, again, you can't do it right there because you need that E flat. So one thing you could do is a little Oscar Peterson kind of sound where you do that. I wouldn't do that whole thing, but maybe just this part. So I'm holding the E flat and the A is a nice little sound. So let's say we're either going to do the Dean's List blues or we're going to do that little Oscar Peterson idea on the F chord. So you go. Oscar Peterson. Here we go. All right, so Vance says this music makes him so happy, and Vance is a great musician, and he's right that this kind of stuff does make us happy when we play these ideas. So let's do a quick reminder of some simple go-tos. Okay, we have 12 people watching. Looking for the next person to say hello in the chat. That would be awesome. Somebody who is not one of our faithful members of any of the academies. Just let me know that you're enjoying the stream. Okay, now watch this, everyone. We just did Cruella de Vil. Now Vance's etude has this. We go Cruella de Vil, da 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 da, and then it does. I'm sorry. Vance's starts off with the triad and does Cruella de Vil right here. Now right here is where some really awesome magic happens. This right there, I just did it. This right here, Bill, Vicky, Vance, T-Man, Dave. I'm sliding down to that minor third. And then I get to the flat 9. And I arrive at the third of F. How cool is that? And then I go F sharp. So now what I want to focus on is two very simple things. We're either going to do the A blues scale, and we get to that G minor, we're going to go. Okay? 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 4. 3, 2, 1, 2. And notice that I'm always arriving, or almost always arriving, on some kind of chord tone, right? It's kind of good. You don't always have to be on chord tones, but it's kind of a known thing that you listen to Bach, Beethoven, all the classical composers, most of the classical composers, they're arriving on chord tones because it outlines the harmony. And just as an example, if I do C chord, all C notes, all chord tones on purpose, D minor, G. G minor, F sharp diminished. Now what I'll start to do is put some half steps on these triads. And a seventh chords. So notice that even when I'm just doing triads or seventh chords, I'm outlining the harmony. It's all like chord tones, outlining the harmony. Very simple. That's not the way you're going to improvise, but I just want everybody to know that as you're thinking through your improvisations, you want to land on some chord tones. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back to the original idea. We're either going to do this right here, or we're going to get to that G minor, and we're going to do Vance's idea there. All right, let's start from the beginning. 2, 1, 2, 3. So we go. A, sorry. 2. A blues scale right here. Okay, let me do that again. So now it's C, thinking simple, C, A chord, 8 notes, D minor, and then G, just picking notes from the chord. Now I'm just going to do the A blues scale. Here we go. 2, 3. All right, Vance. I missed it. I didn't do it right. F sharp. Just thinking some simple, outlining the changes on purpose. I'm getting my ear going and my fingers going. C, A, D minor, G. Let's try it again. All right, here we go. Go back to my triads. Just working. Here we go. Let's play Vance's song all the way through. 2, 1, 2. Triad first. Pivot. Flat 9. All right, now let me stop that just for a second. Let me check on the chat and see how you guys are doing. We're going to go about another 10 minutes. We'll go another 10 minutes. Let me see what time that will be. Yeah, so I'll start wrapping it up at 10:10. And let's talk a little bit about the diminished. I've been getting a lot of really awesome feedback on the lessons that I've done this past week on diminished. So thank you, Ian, Vance, and others who have mentioned that you really like this. So some fun things you can do is you get used to the idea of the flat 9. Like when I do this A7, that's the flat 9. So this sound, just like you hear this, right? That's flat 9 city. Flat 9 city. Maybe there's a song in there. But the idea, this fun idea, if I'm on C7 and I think up a half step, I can play a diminished chord, right? And if I'm on the F chord, I can think up a half step and play an F sharp diminished. Just like when I'm on G, I can play up a half step and do A flat diminished. I can also come down. I can do fancy things, but it's really just the arpeggio. It's just like G7, I think up a half step, and if I play an A flat diminished chord, what's happening? I have the flat 9 that I'm looking for, and the other notes are just part of the G7 chord, which is really cool. Isn't that a nice sound that you can do that? And in its most basic sense, I want to show you one place to play this over the C blues. We're cruising along, we're playing our blues. Saturday morning blues. Right here, I go to F, F, 2, 3. Now watch this. What did I say? If you go to an F sharp diminished chord, that's going to work perfect there, okay? Now, notice that when I play an F sharp diminished, it's the same exact scale. I'm sorry, it's the same exact arpeggio that I want you to play over the F chord. Okay, so notice that I went the third of F, which is A. Everybody lock in, we're only doing 8 more minutes. The third of F is A. I'm the one that needs to lock in. The third of F is A, and I play a diminished chord. 4 notes. A, C, E flat, F sharp. And then when I go to the F sharp diminished in the bass, it's the same, still the same 4 notes. And what that does is that gives you your flat 9 on the F chord. And yes, there's a diminished scale that you want to know and love. All kinds of cool things you can do with the diminished chords, we know that. But in its most basic sense, start thinking of this fun idea that you can do over the F. So I'm cruising along, we are cruising along. Right here. I can do it over here. Here we go. Here we go. Even over A. All right, now, for my beginners out there, do not be overwhelmed by this idea. All I'm doing is going F, 13, I go to A, and you could just play those 4 notes, A, C, E flat, A, C, E flat, and F sharp or G flat. And all that is giving you is this fun thing that we've been doing called the flat 9. Now, I'm just now realizing that I did say very easy things, and I want to make sure I end this lesson with very easy things and not go crazy on extra things. So let me go back to the chat and just check on you guys. Awesome. Okay. The other thing that I want to remind everyone is that you can still, of course, join our YouTube membership. I'm not one that says you need to buy me a cup. You don't have to buy me a cup of coffee, and you don't have to be a member if you don't want to. But I think you'll find it very encouraging. If you want to risk it and buy me a cup of coffee, we're up to 12 people now, and nobody has left at this point. I always say that because I want you to know what you're getting into. If you're going to buy me a cup of coffee or more every week, every month, then I want you to know what you're getting, and you're getting a whole heck of a lot. So I'm always going to make sure, not only for our All Access members and our Chord Academy members, but I want to make sure that you know that I'm going all in for you guys, and if you want to support the channel, you can do that. All right, here we go. Here we're going to wind up with these very encouraging ideas. Remember this, Cruella de Vil. Remember this. You have the A4 notes of the blues scale. You also have this on the C triad, right? Da 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 da. So I'm going to give you 3 licks there, right, that we're going to think of. Cruella de Vil, A blues scale, or our C triad. Okay? So that's 3 ideas. Then you're either going to think Dean's List lick, or you're thinking the Oscar Peterson when you get to the F chord. And then, so that's 5 ideas. Okay, I'm going to say them again, and then I'm going to say for my bonus, to make it 6, we're going to do the arpeggio over F. So that gives us, and of course you can do, anytime you come to a dominant chord, you can do up a half step. If I'm on F, I can go up a half step and play F sharp diminished. And it gives you some amazing, amazing sounds. So I'm going to turn on the track now, and even if you chose one of these 6 ideas, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to feel good about your playing. So if I'm working on Cruella de Vil, 2 and 3 and 4, Cruella de Vil, I could go to the same thing on F. We're calling this 1. All right, so then we got the A blues scale. You also have the C triad. You also have Dean's List Blues. Oscar Peterson. Now here's your arpeggio. Even on A, you go up to B flat. Then you have 1, 6, 2. Let's put it all together. All right, guys, 6 ideas. That was a lot of fun. If you have enjoyed this, please let me know. We have 8 people watching now. I was going to show you, if we get 2 more people in the next 30 seconds, 2 people who have not commented already in the chat, I will give you this new exercise. for working the fingers, and you're going to love it. And it's based on some jazz information. Also, shout out to Anthony. Vicky, thank you so much. That's really awesome. Thank you so much, Vicky. That's very thoughtful. Vicky is not only a member and sort of the queen of iMusicAcademy, she gave a nice donation. Thank you so much for that. That's really awesome. I think I'm going to put together a little guide of these 6 ideas that we just did today. I think that would kind of be important to do that. Vicky, thank you so much. And thank you everybody who's supporting the channel in different ways. I would love, love, love to be able to celebrate the next member that comes on board to our YouTube channel. And again, I'm just extremely grateful for our All Access group and our Chord Academy as well. So Vance, thank you. You guys are awesome. Very thankful for your generosity, everyone. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate all of that. Every penny helps. And I do feel like we're getting some momentum in our channel. I said that at the very beginning of the stream, but just really love teaching you guys and really want to encourage you that you can do this. The main thing, I'm going to tell you one thing about a technique thing in just a minute. So, we still need 2 people to say hello in the chat, and I'm going to show you a really cool exercise. Thanks, Vance. Thanks, Vicky. But here's the deal is, you know, I have a lot of information that I put out there, right? Everybody knows that there's a lot. I have over, as Vance will remind me, I have over 1,000-something videos. But if you take one idea at a time, I know I gave you 6 today, and the main thing is, that's why I end the lesson with this idea of Cruella de Vil. If you just took one chord, Cruella de Vil, da-da-da-da, or go... right? You're starting to build some confidence. You get this down in whatever key you're in. If I'm in F, and then, right, when I did this, same thing on C, right? So in that case, I was visualizing the C triad, what we did today. Same thing on F, same thing on B flat. But do you see how you can build some confidence? If you put out all the noise, get rid of all the noise, and just think Cruella de Vil. You see how simple that is when you just take one idea? Or maybe you're on the beginner side of things and you spend time with both hands on C and doing the first 5 notes of the blues scale, right? Or the first 5 notes. And you get that down, you turn on your track, you get automatic pilot going. Well, then you maybe, right? Maybe you're in B flat and you work on that. Don't get distracted by the noise. You take one idea, right? Okay, so knowing that information right there, Vance, yes, I have 1,099 public videos. That ought to tell you that I like teaching. I hope that you understand that. All right, so if we're blocking out the noise to all of my people watching right now, and you say, all right, Bob's telling me to do the C triad. That right there is gold right there. And then what do you need to be on the minor third on the F chord? So if I'm in F, if you're in E flat, and you can do it in any key, right? All right, so 5 ideas, or 6 ideas, you're going to take them. Maybe you're going to practice this today, Cruella de Vil. Or maybe you're going to do the A blues scale. And take that A blues scale and put it into some different keys, right? And then, that was the first and the second one. The third one is your triad. Maybe you're going to spend time doing this today, or an F. Okay, and then I had 3 blues lick ideas. Maybe it's Dean's List blues. You pick one idea. Go to F. Go to B flat. You know, that's one of them. The next one was the Oscar Peterson idea. And you have to think, well, what's going on there? Okay, it's the root, it's the sixth. The root and the sixth. And I'm going up to the minor third. Root and sixth and going up to the minor third. You get those down. Okay, and the last one was the F sharp diminished. The great thing about diminished, and you're going to have to know that this is coming your way, is A diminished is the same notes as, or the same notes as C diminished, or the same notes as E flat diminished, or the same notes as F sharp diminished. What's up, Jeffrey, the most consistent man at iMusicAcademy? Maybe that's why I've stayed on this long, because I'm waiting for Jeffrey to come in and say hey. Everybody say hey to Jeffrey as we wind up the stream. Okay, as we wind up, I want to tell you about the technique thing. Shout out to Anthony, who got my 50 Days to Flying Fingers course. It's literally my favorite course. Even though it's older now, the content is incredible. Like, I took my classical background and my jazz background, and I learned from some really amazing classical players, and I decided what would be a cool spin on jazz and blues and boogie woogie and put it all together. So it's in a really fun course. You don't have to get the course. It's definitely an investment, but I want to tell you guys that I'm about to launch a membership, so I'm taking the course out of the store really soon. And right now, it's a very involved course. It's 50 Days of Flying Fingers, but it's like 50 different exercises in blues, classical, jazz. And I also say, all right, I turn on the metronome. Again, it's an older course. I want to say I did it in maybe like 2017, 16, I don't know, but it's incredible information, and I use it all the time. I'm going to give you one exercise, and if I got 2 new people to say in the comments, I'm going to give you guys a new thing that's not even in that 50 days. But yes, it's 50 different exercises with real-time practice, and it's classical, jazz, and it will totally change your technique. And I'm going to give you guys this already version that I've already done. The example 1 of the course is this. Everybody ready for this? This is for anybody who's not maybe even connected to iMusicAcademy, that you're just stopping by. I want you to do this exercise. So think of a C triad, and you're going to hold down the bottom note, and you're going to play the triad. That's the first step. Okay? And then make sure you're holding down the C though. And then you're going to go D, F, G, and hold those D's down. And if you understand this, got it in the chat. I'm not looking for speed. It doesn't matter your age or your stage in your piano journey, you need to be working your fingers. And that's what this is about. So we have C, D, which you hold the bottom notes. And once you try this, you're going to see why you need to be doing it. I want everybody to tell me how that feels when you do it. Now, that's going up. On the way back down, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to hold the G's, and now you're going to hold the F. Again, speed is not the idea. It's clarity and precision and making sure you hold those top notes. Let me do this. Hang in there. Don't go anywhere. Anybody watching, I want to give everybody this first exercise. Okay, let me just do that for you guys. There's no strings attached. I'm not even going to put a where it's locked down and you have to ask for permission. I'm just going to put it up. So let me create a folder really quickly and let me add it. So we're going to call this new folder. We're going to call it 50 Days YouTube. Example 1. And I'm going to make this open to everybody. Okay, so let me go to my recents here. 50 days. Let me look for this really quickly. Where did it go? Recent. I just created it. I thought I created it. Home, my drive. 50 days. Give me 1 second. Recent. All right, I'm going to do this again. New folder. I'll just do flying fingers YouTube example 1. Okay, now I've created the folder here, and let me, oh, there it is right there. Okay. Let me get this exercise. 50 days. Example 1. Let me make sure this is the right one. 50 days. So the thing about my courses, I always like to provide sheet music and fingering of how to do things. So this exercise, I'm telling you, everybody, it's going to totally radically change. Even this one exercise, I tell people, like, I had this course, 50 Days to Flying Fingers, and each exercise does do different things for the hand. But I'm telling you, if you do this one exercise, you're going to notice a huge difference in your playing. All right, so I'm going to share this. And let me make sure it's not locked down. Anybody can do it. Let me change that to anyone with the link. All right, now I'm putting this in the chat. Vance, you're so funny. All right, there it is. So anybody, we have 9 people watching. What I would ask for you to do is make sure you like this video, and if you can, comment on the video. That would be helpful. But there's no link. There's nothing that says you have to ask for permission or whatever. There it is. It's the sheet. And it just shows you the fingering, exactly what to do. And what I want you to do is turn on your metronome, if you have one, and start practicing this. And this is the exercise. I'll do it exactly as it is. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to reverse it. 1, 2. That's a 2, 3. Then you're going to do it again. What you're going to notice is when you first start to do it, for some of you, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest exercise known to man. And at first, you're going to be using muscles you've never used before if you've never done that kind of thing. And what I promise you is that if you did it over the next week and you do it every day that you sit down at the piano, just try to do that, then you're going to notice a huge difference in your playing. And what I love about the course, my 50 Days to Flying Fingers, is by the end, like we're doing this jazz etude and F blues that's in like crazy time signature, like 11/8 or something like that. But again, all my ideas come from my classical studies and my jazz studies, or my jazz things that I picked up on, and then made my own course, which I love it. But anyway, you can also do that in minor, this first exercise, Vance. Do it in minor. All you do is change it to E flat. But I would love for everybody who tries this out for a week or so, say, yes, man, I got this. I downloaded this thing. Thanks. Or you don't have to say thanks, but if you want to, you can say thanks. And then let me know how it's going if you're enjoying that. All right. So I've done enough announcements, enough giveaways for now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do one more giveaway. Let me give our general public Dean's List Blues. Yep, I'm gonna give you the easy version because I think it's good to get you going on that, right? Let me put this in the folder here, 50 Days folder. Let me just open this folder. Let me make sure I'm in the folder. Okay, I'm adding the Dean's List Blues. This is not locked down or anything. Just grab it, go practice. It has this idea, and it also has this toward the end of it. So I think you guys will really like it. And if you want to not only download it, it's just like a one-click thing, and you can download both of them. But if you want to say hello in a video or a comment, or email me, Bob at iMusicAcademy or iMusicAcademy1@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you and let me know how things are going. If not, just go practice the heck out of it, and like this video, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all be good. Thank you to those of you who are giving the donations. They actually really help a lot. And I would say, I told my wife last night that I've been really encouraged with our engagement on the channel, and it has slowly been going up. And I mean, like donations and gifts and things like that, our membership and other things, slowly but surely going up. I have a long way to go from where I want to go, but I'm very thankful for every penny that comes in. So you can always do super chats on any of the things on my live streams, and I'm always very I pay attention to those who are able to make those donations. I always try to make sure that I let you know that as well. So thank you, Vicky. Thank you for Vance, and thanks for everybody hanging out. Go practice, have fun, enjoy watching some football or whatever it is you do today. Or maybe it's your yard work blues. As we always do, say goodbye to everybody, and I'll see you on the next one. Shout out to Dad, probably watching some football now. Dave P, up and early this morning. Vance, Vicky, Peter stopped in for a little while. T-Man, Vicky, Peter, Jeffrey jumped in, the most consistent man at iMusicAcademy. Bill, always good. Bill has been really active and awesome. Very thankful for Bill. Everybody's so awesome. Jeffrey's full time as a supporter of iMusicAcademy. All right, T-Man, you made it to the end. Go watch some football. All right, Bill. Good to see you. I'll see you guys. Now it's Labor Day on Monday, so we'll either decide to do a lesson, just a fun little stream, or we'll do it all on Tuesday. I'll let you guys decide. I'm off that day. Not off from necessarily teaching, just off from work. All right, guys, have a good one. 30 seconds, I'm out. Did we get the other piece? We didn't have two people, Vance. What are you talking about, the other piece? Are you talking about the you want the Dean's List blues with the other? All right, here's what I'll do. A roll tide from Vance. Vance, just clarify that. Do you want the harder Dean's List blues? Is that what you're asking? Just confirm that. Because there's one that has a 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, hold on a second. Whatever Vance wants, Vance gets. No, it's not okay, Vance. 1 second. Let me go to the YouTube members, family songbook. All right. And you better believe the next person that signs up, Sharon was the last person to sign up for our YouTube channel. We're at 12 members. I can't wait to celebrate the next person. All right, so here's what we're doing. I put both versions in there. So now you have the easy and the hard version. So can you, Vance, you are a member of that drive, and I'm going to share this link. I'll copy the link. Just stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This is like office hours now. All right, I'm going to create my post. Here are your PDFs from today. Put the link. I'm going to go channel members, and also, let me see. Oh, hey Vance, I'm sure you've noticed this inside the membership area, but now I'm attaching all the videos. Let me know if you got that. But have you noticed that, Vance, inside the membership area now? When I put a link to the charts, I also am tagging the videos so you guys know exactly which ones we're using. I want to know if you've noticed that. Same for you, Dad and Vicky and anybody else who's a member. Yeah, I can't wait to celebrate the next person. So it's gonna be great. All right, here's a little fun bonus thing as I'm waiting for Vance. So, all right, so this is for my small hand pianists out there. You're welcome. You're welcome, Vance. All right, so if you have small hands, you can use those instead of tenths, you can use thirds. So here you go. 1. It's a C major 9. Got the 9th in there. To E flat 13. E flat, G, D flat, F. So we have this. And then we're going to go A flat, 7. And then we're going to go D flat. Ooh, I like that too. All right, guys. See you in the next one. See you soon.